Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And this is an episode that we've been really looking forward to producing here, so we want you guys to stick around for this one. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, make sure you follow us on our social media. If you're not following us on Instagram, our Instagram page is Dreamerspro. This is the same as the YouTube page. And make sure you follow us on our my personal Instagram is C-Tabanz, so it's C-T-A-B-A-N-Z. Make sure you follow us. Anyway, enough of this promotion. Let's get into the content here. Now, some people have been asking us to produce this show. We said to them, we want to produce it right before the season starts. It makes more sense to do that. And here we are today. We're going to be talking about our season predictions. And I'm so excited because the NBA season finally kicks off. I believe it is. Hold up. I believe it is today, if I'm not mistaken. The NBA season kicks off tomorrow. Look at that, man. Look at that. Perfect. So we got it planned for tomorrow. So, first of all, I'm very excited for the season to get started. There are a lot of storylines going into this year that I think a lot of us are excited about. Obviously, you have the situation happening in Brooklyn. That's one thing to pay attention to. You have LeBron James and the Lakers, that team. Well, a lot of us are interested to see what this team is going to look like. Of course, you have the sub-story within the story, the subplot with Russell Westbrook and the drama that they have there. Then, of course, you have LeBron, passing up Kareem this season. That's also going to be a big piece of news. So you got that going on there. You got the Clippers story. You got Kawhi Leonard coming back. We have that story there. We have Zion Williamson. He's coming back. We have that story there. So there are a lot of storylines and things to look forward to this season that I think a lot of us are pretty excited about. But today we want to make our predictions going into this season. That's what we want to do. So we're going to take a lot of our time getting into it today. I don't want to rush myself. But before we get into our predictions, this video is brought to you by sponsor Aura, who's also the official sponsor of the T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try Aura by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So let us start off with the predictions for the Defensive Player of the Year award. Now, the top 3 vote getters for Defensive Player of the Year last year were Marcus Smart, obviously, who won the award, Mikal Bridges, and Rudy Gobert. Right? Those were the three guys. And it had been a long time, a very long time, that we saw a guard win the Defensive Player of the Year award. And I think we saw Gary Payton present him the award, I believe, in the Boston Celtics training facility. It was pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. And he absolutely deserved it. However, I think that going into this season, I think one of the guys that's always there hovering at the top is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I think that Giannis, if he comes into this season with the right focus, especially on the defensive side of the floor, I think Giannis has an opportunity to go out there this season and win Defensive Player of the Year. And listen, this is just another reason why Giannis is so good. Who do you know? How many players are there in the NBA that every single season going into the season, he could be one of the top 3 or 4 vote getters for MVP or Defensive Player of the Year? I mean, it's crazy. But this season, I think Giannis may be the guy to go out there and win a Defensive Player of the Year. So that's who I think is going to win. I could be wrong, but that's who I think will win it this year. Now, let's talk about the 6th Man of the Year. Obviously, there are a lot of candidates. I think last year, if we look at the 6th Man of the Year, the winner was Tyler Hero if I'm not mistaken. But there were a lot of guys up there. You know, you had Kevin Love. He was a vote getter. Cameron Johnson, of course, Jordan Clarkson. He presented a bunch of problems when the Clippers faced him a few years in the playoffs. And of course, you have Luke Kennard, right? Luke Kennard, who was also another Clipper. But speaking about the Clippers, there's a particular player coming back this year, in John Wall, that we have not seen play basketball in quite some time. Based on all the reports and all of the footage that I've seen of him play, John Wall looks to be 100% healthy. And according to a recent report I just read, it seems as if Reggie Jackson is going to be getting the starting job this season. So if John Wall is going to be the sixth man coming off the bench for the Clippers with his athleticism, his quickness, his experience, his ability to score the basketball, I think that there's a real possibility that John Wall could potentially end up being the sixth man of the year. And he's the player that I'm giving my vote for sixth man of the year. So that's what I think about those two particular awards there. Now let's get into the fun part of this, which is the conferences, the various conferences. I want to start off here with the Eastern Conference. Okay. I think this year, there are going to be some good teams in the East, but I think these particular teams, this is just my opinion, I think are going to be the top four teams in the Eastern Conference. The teams are, in no particular order, the Milwaukee Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to be right there. They're a deep team, championship team, led by arguably the best player in the world. So you have the Milwaukee Bucks. Obviously, you have the Miami Heat. Okay, the Miami Heat, somehow, some way, they always seem to find themselves in the mix. And of course, Jimmy Butler is probably one of the greatest playoff players we have in the NBA today. He's not really a regular season guy, but in the playoffs, man, Jimmy Butler just goes to an entire different level. So I got Miami as one of the top four teams. I got the Philadelphia 76ers. As y'all heard, I think James Harden, I don't know if he's capping or not, but James Harden said that he lost 100 pounds. So obviously you got Philly that's going to be in the mix. And another team that I think is going to be in the mix is going to be the Brooklyn Nets. They got a lot of talent, man. They got a lot of talent. They got a lot of experience. They got a lot of young guys. They got great veterans on that team. And I think they're going to be in the mix. Now, some people will say, well, what about the Boston Celtics? They just made it to the finals. Well, given that Ime Udoka is going to be sitting out for an entire year for its suspension, I want to see how this team is going to regroup, right? So I don't really want to make any predictions about that team as of yet. So that's that. Now, let's get to, and also, which means that, by the way, let me tell you who I think is going to make it to the Western Conference, to the Eastern Conference Finals. So I think these are the two teams I think are going to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think it's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks, and I think it's going to be the Brooklyn Nets. Those are the two teams I think are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals. But if you want to hear my prediction of who actually wins between that matchup, continue watching the video here. Now let's go over to the Western Conference. In the Western Conference, I think the four best teams are the following: the Golden State Warriors, in no particular order, the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Denver Nuggets, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, some people are saying the Denver Nuggets, really? Yeah, well, Jamal Murray is going to be back, right? I think what is his name? I think they got Aaron Gordon, but there's another player. I forgot his name. Young guy, really tall guy, very talented. I forgot his name. I think he's coming back from an injury. I think that's going to be a great boost for the team. I forgot his name, but I think those are going to be the top four teams. I think the teams to keep an eye on in the Western Conference this season, teams that could potentially surprise you, are the Los Angeles Lakers, right? We have to see what they're going to be doing rotationally, and also what type of defensive identity they're going to have this season. So I'm still kind of watching the Lakers. I think they may be good this year, but time will tell. And of course, we have the Pelicans. Why the Pelicans? Because we have Zion Williamson coming back. But some people say, but wait a minute, Alonzo Ball is in. Yeah, but they still got a lot of talent. They got Brandon Ingram. You got Zion Williamson. You got CJ McCollum. So they got a core unit. They can still go out there and win games. So those are the two teams I'm keeping an eye on. Now, as far as the teams that I think are going to make it to the Western Conference Finals, I think if everyone is healthy and everything is fine, I think the two teams that we can see in the Western Conference Finals this year, at least for me, this is what I'm predicting, I think is going to be the Clippers versus the Warriors. I think that's going to be the Western Conference Finals matchup. If you want to hear who wins that matchup, continue to stick around. Now, let's get to the regular season MVP voting. Okay, for the regular season MVP voting, last year, the top three vote getters were Giannis, Nikola Jokic, and Joel Embiid. Now, we all know that Nikola Jokic ended up winning the award, but Joel Embiid was really, really lobbying for that particular award. He was campaigning, right? And I think at one point, I think after he lost, he said, I don't know what else I can do. So I think this season, given the fact that James Harden is coming back, he seems to be in better shape. That group is finally kind of past the Ben Simmons stuff. You know, James Harden's going to have a full training camp with them. I think that Joel Embiid, if he's focused and he's healthy and he plays enough games, I think he can make an argument that he could probably, break through this season. And I think Joel Embiid, believe it or not, is going to win the regular season MVP this season. So that's why I have winning the regular season MVP. It's going to be Joel Embiid. Now, it's important that I say this. If somehow, some way, the Lakers end up being a top 4 seed in the West, I think the media will make a serious push for LeBron James to win the award. So I just think we need to keep that in mind. If the Lakers are doing good this season, the media will definitely make a push. Even if there are going to be other teams, players more deserving of it, they're going to make a push for him. Now, let's get to the finals matchup. This is the part I think everybody's waiting to see. So, as y'all remember, I had, the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm going to surprise you guys. I think that when the Bucks and the Nets meet in the Eastern Conference Finals, I am going to pick the Brooklyn Nets to win that series. Some people may say, are you making too much of that preseason game? Probably. But I've been seeing how Ben Simmons has been looking with that group. He's definitely sped up their offense with a lot of those outlet passes. He's definitely, he's helping them with their tempo, getting them easy buckets in transition. He's still a great defensive player. He can still set great screens. Kevin Durant is still unguardable. Kyrie Irving still cannot be stopped. They still got Seth Curry. They got Claxton. They got what's the Aussie? I forgot his name. They got him. They got so many great players. Although Steve Nash doesn't seem to be the guy, but something just tells me, man, I don't know. So I think the Nets will beat the Bucks if they meet in the Eastern Conference Finals. That's my prediction. That's why I said it's our prediction. To the West. When the Clippers meet, When the Clippers meet the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals, I have the Clippers beating them and going to the NBA Finals. I'm also going to say this. If Kawhi Leonard is healthy, I think he will be the best player in the playoffs in the Western Conference. I don't think there'll be anybody better than him. Nobody. There's no other player I'd rather have going into a series than Kawhi if he's healthy. Nobody. And the last time we saw Kawhi in the playoffs before he got injured, he was having another all-time great. When I say all-time great postseason run. So I'd have the Clippers winning that. Now, in the NBA Finals, I have the Clippers versus the Brooklyn Nets, and I have the Clippers winning that series in 7 games, and I have Kawhi Leonard winning Finals MVP. So that is my Finals MVP prediction, and this is our season prediction and playoff prediction. So what I want to know from you guys is, where do you disagree? Where do you agree? Whatever you guys think, leave all of your thoughts and comments in the comment section, and we catch you guys on the next one. Peace.